Hey everybody, I'm Ethan.
And I'm Bobby. And today we're going to be reviewing the Tertill weeding robot.
Next on Now Let's Review. Alright, so you know a lot more about gardening than I do. You kind of garden quite a bit. This to me looks like a Roomba with some more kind of all-terrain wheels. Am I wrong in thinking that?
That's pretty much right, Ethan. So Tertill is a solar-powered weeding robot for home vegetable gardens. And we actually put this thing to the test in my garden. And today we're going to tell you all about this and how it works. So the Tertill was actually created by Joe Jones, one of the creators of the Roomba vacuums that you often find in people's homes. Yeah, so our very own Zach actually did an interview with Joe, and you can check that out right here. So the Tertill uses the height of the plant to determine whether or not it's a plant for your garden or if it's a weed. And so it'll actually bump into the plant and then turn around and keep moving. If you have a plant that's still smaller than an inch, they give you these really cool guards that help deter the Tertill from actually running over that plant and thinking it's a weed.
Okay, so it makes sense. It is actually kind of like a Roomba for the garden, but like, how does it actually take out the weed? Like, I'm assuming it doesn't have any kind of mechanism to like grab the weed,
pull it out,
pulls it out of the ground. How does it do that?
Yeah, so the Tertill actually has two ways of weeding. So the first way is it has this small nylon string, and it's basically a small weed whacker. It'll just whack the weed and chop off most of the plant. The other way that it weeds is it has these small wheels. You see that? So the way that these wheels were designed is so that when it moves through the garden, it actually tills the dirt and kills any sprouting weeds that may appear. So you get more than one way to get rid of weeds from the garden.
So now I'm assuming on the top here, this is a solar panel. That's what it looks like, and I would imagine that's how it's powered. Am I correct in thinking that?
It's actually an induction stove. No,
okay.
So it is a solar panel.
Put an egg right on there.
So, I mean, if it gets hot enough, you might be able to, but basically this is a solar panel. It keeps the Tertill powering throughout the day. It even works when there's clouds. So you don't really have to worry about plugging it in or charging it. You kind of just put it in the garden and let it do its thing. So a couple other cool features of this is that it comes with an app that allows you to kind of keep track of how Tertill's doing with your garden. So the app is connected via Bluetooth, and it can tell you the status of the Tertill, how the battery life is doing, and certain conditions of your garden, like the temperature.
So now let's say this is our garden.
Yep.
What do we do? How do we start this?
Well, Ethan, luckily the Tertill is very easy to operate. Pretty much all you do is click a button and it will start.
It plays a beautiful little song.
The charge thing, like the charge.
Oh, and there it goes.
There it goes.
And so I can see the paddles on the wheels that it uses to till the soil. Yeah, I can hear it like clunking on the table as it moves. So, okay, look at that.
Yeah. So you put your hand in front, it kind of bounces away.
I'm a garden plant right now. All right, so I mean, so far, I'm impressed by this. It seems like a really cool robot. It seems like it's very capable. Are there any things that you've noticed that are kind of like pros or cons with it? Because I mean, I know you do a lot of gardening. So is there kind of a list of things it's good at and then some things that it's bad at? Or is it kind of just fantastic overall?
Yeah, good question, Ethan. So basically, Zach let me take this home and use it in my garden for about a month. And I definitely learned that there's some things I like about it and some things I don't like so much. So the things that I like the most about this is that it's pretty much set and forget. You don't have to go out and plug it back in. You don't have to worry about any maintenance. The only thing that you may have to do every now and then is replace the little nylon string, but the weeds are hardly ever big enough to break it, so I didn't have to do any maintenance. The next thing is that you don't have to map the garden. As I mentioned earlier, it just kind of hits things and then moves, and it over time covers pretty much the entire thing. And the last thing is it actually works. I was very surprised when I used it. I kind of thought that maybe it would not read certain weeds or would kind of go over it, and I really didn't think that the wheels were actually gonna keep weeds from popping up. But they really did. Now let's get to the cons. So these go for about $300. It's starting to get down to a price where it would be worth paying for me, but I don't really have $300 to throw around. I'd rather just kind of let the weeds grow and once a month pick all the weeds that I can. To each their own. If you feel like $300 is worth it, then sure, you should definitely try out the Tertill, but for me, it's a little bit out of budget. Now the next one is really big for me. If you bought the Tertill in the middle of the season, it's kind of, at least in my experience, really hard to use because you have to sort of plan your garden out ahead of time to accommodate for the Tertill needing space to get around. So when I put it in my garden, there wasn't a lot of room for the Tertill to move around. A lot of my plants were pretty close together because I do square foot gardening. So you have to plan it before the gardening season really starts. So the next thing is it kind of gets stuck a lot. So when I was using it, I would have it in my tomato area of the garden, for example, and I would go to work and I'd come home and everything in the perimeter of maybe 5 feet was weeded. However, it didn't really seem to make it out of that area. There were too many obstacles, so it kept kind of bouncing back and forth within this small spot. So kind of going back to our last point, you really have to plan for the garden to have more room for it to escape into the rest of the garden, but it didn't really work for me. And there's one more final thing that kind of deters me from wanting a turtle, and that is that there's no real way for it to get into the raised beds of my garden, and you know, a lot of people have raised beds. So there's a lot of things that can kind of make you not want the turtle, but it's a very, very cool thing to have in your garden. And I think that you guys should try it and comment down below. If you have the money and you want to give it a go, let us know how it went for you. And let us know what you like and what you don't like about it, because we want to hear from actual gardeners to see if this thing is realistic or not.
So now if the price was maybe a little bit less, or even maybe ignoring that, if the price is how it is, but they could kind of fix the problem that it has with getting stuck a lot, and it was as efficient, if not a little bit more efficient than it currently is, do you think it would be worth it? And would it be something that you would want to have maybe even multiple of if you have a big enough garden? Because I feel like you said, if you plan it out ahead of time and you have a garden that's set up specifically for this, it must work amazingly. Because I mean, you were saying you don't even have a garden that was set up for this and it still did the job. So I think if you have a garden that's set up specifically with this in mind, I would imagine this would do a really good job of keeping the weeds down.
Yeah, if you're willing to do the prep work to get your garden ready for the turtle, I think it's a great thing to have. And it does work. It has proven to work. And so you should absolutely buy this if that's what you want to do. If I were to talk to Tertill tomorrow and give them my feedback.
The company, not this one.
The company, yeah. Hey Tertill, how you doing? I would say that they should probably come up with another version that's maybe a little bit more compact for people who have tighter gardens, because it's a very popular thing to have. And you know, you want to make the most out of your space. So like we said, this is amazing, but a compact version would be pretty cool.
We can put this. And with that, I want to say thank you to Tertill for sending us this turtle robot. It's been really fun to use and to check out. I know you and Zach have had a pretty good time with it. But yeah, again, thank you, Tertill. We really appreciate it. It's been great to use it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Helps us out a lot. If you want more reviews of mostly bikes and scooters and stuff, but also we'll do some more things like this. Make sure you hit subscribe. Yeah, I know. Magic turtle robot.
Woo.
Subscribe for all kinds of reviews of lots of electric stuff. This is electric, so we can count it. Bobby, thanks again for joining and for taking the lead on this one, because you know a lot more about this stuff than I do.
Yeah, anytime.
All right, and we will see you next time. Now let's review.